Good evening, super late model fans. Hopefully you have your coffee cup with you as the Espresso Super Series brings you tonight's racing action from the Five Flags Speedway as they get ready to go with a Dr. Noise 100. The custom graphics and die cast. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, shapes, sizes, and colors, Dr. Noise is where you need. If you want a replica of your iRacing race car, check them out on Facebook. Tell them that the Espresso Super Series sent you their way. They have high quality die cast that'll match what you are racing on the service. Or if you need a paint scheme, well, Dr. Noise himself can make that happen as well as we get ready to go with tonight's racing action here. And it is going to be a good one as we bring you all the action from the super late models here tonight. And it is also being brought to you by Hall Sheet Metal, heating and air conditioning for all your residential and professional needs. It's Hall Sheet Metal. Misfit Motorsports, a team made up of the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre and the 88 of Matt McLean, who's got the Chevy started up here tonight. He will be in action for tonight's racing action. Also want to thank the Empire Racing Team, the 20 of Justin McDuff, AJ Hamill, and the 18, 98 of Chris Stump, and the 8 Vermont of Andy Lambert. And Arts Barbershop, cut above the rest. And Eddie's Performance Solutions. Want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight as we get ready to go with the racing action from the Five Flags Speedway. Last week, it was Joe Schaefer Jr. picking up the win here. Last week at Thompson, Jeff Dillon rallied for a second, and Bill Martin rounded out your podium as we get ready to go with tonight's racing action. As we bring you all of the racing action here for the Espresso Super Series. We want to thank everybody for tuning on in here tonight. If it's your first time on the Turn 3 Racing Network, make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hearts, whatever you need to do. Let these drivers know that you appreciate the efforts that they're going to do out there. 21 cars strong here in Pensacola, Florida, for tonight's Dr. Noise Custom Diecast and Paints 100. So a pretty good night here as we get ready to go, and this is your current point standings brought to you by the Hall Sheet Metal. And this is your current standings coming in to tonight's racing action. Bill Martin atop of the points lead. Well, we have a deadlock heat for second place in points. AJ Hamill and Joe Schaefer, both with 166 points after 4 events. Matt Vaughty in the 4th spot. Matt Eddy rounding out your top 5. Jimmy McIntyre and John McIntyre 6th and 7th. Jeremy Watkins will not be in action here. A little bit of a family emergency, so we wish the best for the driver of the 71. As right now, everybody going to take to the grid once we get here. So that is your point standings for tonight. Is right now your starting grid starting to look like this up on the front stretch as they line up behind the Ford Mustang pace car. Starting on tonight's pole, the car number 45, that is Justin Smith. Starting on the outside of him, out of Tennessee, the driver of the number 22, this is Mike Holtzclaw. Jimmy McIntyre will start in the number 3 position as here on the front stretch. Outside of him will be the 05, the driver out of Canada. This is Craig Tully. Starting on the 5th position here tonight, inside row number 3, it'll be the 02 of John McIntyre. Outside of him, the 34, this is Doug Wasaki. Rolling off 7th in the 8 Vermont, this is Andy Lambert to his outside, the Eddie Performance, HowRacing.com entry. This is the driver out of Michigan, the number 88, it is Matt Eddy. Rolling off on the inside of row number 5, it will be car number 18, the Green Mountain Madman himself, AJ Hamill, to his outside, the number 7 of Matt Vaughty. Starting 11th on the grid will be car number 39. It is Dr. Noise himself, Bill Martin, in the Narf.org. Entry outside of him, the Epic Media. Number 6, your current. These two drivers are 1-2 in points. They're right there starting all together. It is Joe Schaefer Jr. Christopher Reardon and Justin McDuff will make up row number 7. And it'll be the number 59 of Ken Farmer in the 55 of Steve Baker. Justin Rigsby, Mike Abbott make up row number 9. Row number 10 is going to go to Matt McLean, Chris Stump, and Chris Roma. And car number 83, Shotgun on the field, as that is your starting lineup here tonight for the 100 laps of action. Getting ready to go green flag. Justin Smith and the number 22 of Mike Holtzclaw up on the front row. Pace car down and away, and we are under green. Everybody racing down there into the turn number 1 and 2. They work down the backstretch. Justin Smith into your race lead. It is the number 81 of Jimmy McIntyre closing right in there as well. Everybody working around the racetrack. Justin Smith leading lap number 1 to 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. He's going to take a bit to the outside. In the Eddie's Meat Market number 81. Here comes Tully involved as they work off turn number 2. Off turn number 4 to 22, a Holtzclaw get a little bit sideways. He has to regroup. He'll fall back into the clutches of that number 88 of Matt Eddy. Eddy rolling the outside of the racetrack, because that'll be a pass for your 4th position. Everybody rolling off there. We got a side-by-side battle for your race lead. Justin Smith down to the inside. Here comes the 81 of McIntyre. He's using the outside of the racetrack. The 5 of Tully down there as well in spot number 3. Matt Eddy really rolling the outside of the racetrack. 2 grooves of racing early on here tonight. As now Eddy's going to get sideways off the corner. Matt Eddy going to go around here. Big trouble on the front stretch. The 8 Vermont involved. Ken Farmer involved along with the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw. John McIntyre going to spin it back around here on the front stretch. So yellow flag coming out here. We saw it live there. Matt Eddy just got a little bit loose. He was running the outside very well here. Let's take a look back and see what happened to the 88 of Eddy. See him on the corner, gets up off the corner and just around he goes in the 22 of Holtzclaw. AJ Hamill going to make some contact as well. Chris Stump, Justin Rigsby involved as well. Let's take another quick look at this one. Let's go on board with the Dr. Noise onboard camera with Mike Holtzclaw. You see the contact there. You see Eddy get loose, and the Mike was just along for the ride down here on the front stretch. Everybody getting on the binders. Let's take one more look at We'll watch it from high above with the Hall sheet metal blimp cam. See Eddy get loose right there, and oh, McIntyre nowhere to go. Everybody, that's a very, you're on the gas pedal very hard off that corner trying to get the car pointed straight, and well, it was all it took there. Eddy got a little bit loose, and a few drivers making some contact there. The good news is I don't think too many people made too hard of a contact there, so I believe everybody will be able to take and get going back again as we come back to a live picture. Matt Eddy rolling around the racetrack with Andy Lambert down on pit road. He's coming back off of pit road in that Priority Auto Black Rifle entry. So Lambert back down. Looks like he might be coming back pit side here. No, he's going to stay up on the racetrack as we get them doubled up here. Lights are out on the pace car. That means we're going to go back green flag racing. This time by Justin Smith has led it since the green flag. Pace car down and away. Justin Smith and Craig Tully up on the front row. Green flag is out and we are underway. Down there on the bottom, it'll be the 45 of Smith. He'll hold on to your race lead. Here comes the 81 of McIntyre. Bill Martin working the bottom of the racetrack. He'll move into third this time off turn number 4. Everybody keeping it clean and green as we watch the battle back here for the 5th spot. Tully working the outside of Joe Schaefer. Schaefer making his way up through the field. We've got him 2 by 2 a little bit further behind there. That's one lap around the racetrack. As we watch Tully, he's in front of this number 55 of Steve Baker. Baker up 10 spots so far. He's your current hard charger in that number 55. We watch he'll come back a little bit deeper in the field. Christopher Reardon working the outside of the 98 of Chris Stump. They've got the 88 of Matt McLean working right there underneath him in the Good Wrench automobile. McLean working the inside of the racetrack. He'll come off. He'll take that spot from Reardon. McLean cracking the top 10. First start of the season. Finally got that Chevrolet to tow the car down here. We pick because we care. Field working through the corner a little bit deeper. Matt Vaughty's still working the outside of the racetrack of Rigsby as they work down the backstretch. This is the battle for your 13th position. And they've got the 82 of Abbott. Abbott, a newcomer to the league as well, as they work all back here. But up front, things are starting to heat up. Justin Smith going to have the rear view mirror as we look out back of the Misfit Motorsports onboard camera. He's got a hungry hound behind him, a Bill Martin. Martin up to your number 2 spot. He's up 9 spots along with the 6 of Joe Schaefer. Right now, Jimmy McIntyre hung up on the outside on the out to dry. Is now your top 4 run single file as they come off of turn number 4. Down the front stretch they go. They'll put lap number 18 into the books as Jimmy McIntyre still fighting the outside of Steve Baker. Now he'll give way. He'll be able to slide that down in front of the 18 of A.J. Hamill. Hamill with a little bit of front end damage. Got to wonder if it's going to hurt the cooling on these super late models or if he will be fine. Don't look now, but the hell of a good number 20 is looking to have move up 1 spot. He runs right there behind. So 7th through 9th, all Empire Racing teams. The 98 of Chris Stump, he's on his way up through the field. He's up 11 positions. He started back in the 20th tonight in that red and white number 98. Everybody single file is now Justin Smith starting to feel the pressure. Bill Martin right there behind him. Can he make a move on him? Justin Smith working the bottom of the racetrack. Bill Martin to the outside. Can he make something happen? He's got the 6 of Joe Schaefer right there close in tow as well. Now a bid for your race lead. Side by side. Down here to turn 1. Martin on the outside of the racetrack. That opens the inside for the 6 of Schaefer. Smith holding the bottom, but yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow coming out here as the number 82 of Mike Abbott has gone around. He sits nosed in to the inside wall down here in turn number 1. We will have to see what happened to the driver of the number 82, the driver that is out of Massillon, Ohio, and the butt kicker, number 82. He will back it up the racetrack and get pointed back in the right direction with his Camaro. See him working there behind Matt Vardy. They come off of turn number 4. Oh, just gets a little bit loose, gets it with wish-washing, and around she will go. He does the good thing, walks it down as he sits there faced into the inside barrier, and that'll bring out our second yellow. So a single car accident Bringing out our second yellow flag of the evening. And Abbott able to get back in the right direction. Mike Holtzclaw should be in line, and he will. He'll get the haul. Freeze fast to get back onto the lead lap. So that'll put 20 cars back on the lead lap. So Justin Smith doing a good job leading all 27 laps so far. He's held off the number 39 of Bill Martin. Joe Schaefer in the third spot. Craig Tully runs fourth. Steve Baker up 11 spots so far in that number 55 automobile. He runs in the fifth position. Sixth spot is Jimmy McIntyre. Seventh will go to Justin McDuff. McDuff is up 7 spots from his 14th reciting starting spot in that hell of a good dip, number 20. Chris Stump in the number 98 up 12 positions now in that Ford Mustang with a 4. Ninth spot belongs to the 88 of Matt McLean, and inside the top 10 will be the number 83. This is Chris Roma. Chris Roma rolls in spot number 10. 11th spot is Justin Rigsby. Christopher Reardon runs in the 12th position. Matt Vaude is 13th. 14th spot belongs to the Miller Lite entry of John McIntyre. Doug Wasaki is 15th. Ken Farmer 16th. And A.J. Hamill back there in the 17th position. He just was on pit road. Mike Holtzclaw rolling off pit road. He'll be slotted 18th. Matt Eddy 19th. And Andy Lambert rounding out your field in the 20th. Mike Abbott in 21st. They're bringing out our last yellow flag of the evening so far. We work lap number 29. The field doubles up behind the pace car. So we get ready to go. Green flag racing this time off of turn number 4. Pace car down and away. The field rollers off of turn number 4. Green flag is up, and Justin Smith on the loud pedal. Down here in the turn number 1, side by side for your race lead. It'll be the 39 of Martin working the outside of the racetrack with the momentum. He'll draw even with the 45 of Smith. Here comes Tully. He'll work the outside of the 6 of Schaefer and the 55 of Baker. At the line, Smith will lead lap number 30 as they work down into turn number 1. Side by side for your race lead off turn number 2. Down the backstretch they roar. It'll be Bill Martin with a nose out front. Smith down back to the inside. Justin Smith rolls the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4. At the line, give the race lead. That was too close to call. I believe Bill Martin might have just had it by the bumper tape. Down the backstretch, Justin Smith still not giving up on the inside line underneath the 39 of Martin. Joe Schaefer's going to work the outside of the racetrack now. Everybody 2 by 2 as they work down here to turn number 1. 2 by 2, 4, 5 rows deep as they work down the backstretch. You see the outside line. Joe Schaefer in the 39. Bill Martin, Joe Schaefer's in the 6. Jet time 45 of Smith gets a little bit loose off of turn number 4. He's able to corral it. He's going to have the number 6 of Schaefer the outside. You see the distinctive different lines here as they work off turn number 4, and that'll put the 45 of Smith back to 3rd as your new race leader. Bill Martin looks to hold off the 6 of Joe Schaefer. Schaefer comes in. He has won the last 3 in a row, looking to go for 4 in a row. Is that driver, the number 6, the driver out of Wisconsin. A little bit deeper in the field, A.J. Hamill watching some battles. The 0-2 of Johnny McNair will get loose, get down in the grass. No harm, no foul. Everybody will stay green. Good battle up here with Matt Vaude. He works the outside of the number 99 of Justin Rigsby. They've got the 98 of Chris Stump. Stump there in the 10th position. So this is a battle for 11th as they work down in the corner. That time maybe slight contact between Rigsby and the 7 of Vaude. As now Craig Tully's got underneath the 45 of Smith. And now Justin McDuff is working his way towards the front. McDuff up to your 5th position. He'll bring the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. He's got his teammate in the back pocket, the 88 of Matt McLean. Justin Smith working the outside of the racetrack. Can he make it stick up there? So he's got McIntyre down to the inside. Drag race down here in the turn number 3. Everybody minding their P's and Q's. McIntyre up the racetrack a little bit. That'll give the number 45 a little bit of a run. But up front, things are starting to heat up as Joe Schaefer trying to make a move on the 39 of Bill Martin. Martin working the out there in the GSM Racing number 39 as we ride on board with the number 6 of Joe Schaefer. Down the back stretch here, it'll be almost to the halfway point already. This one going by very quick here. All 21 cars still out on the racetrack. Only one car down to your rears to your race leader. That's the 82 of Mike Abbott. We watch this battle a little bit deeper on. Matt Vardy still working the bottom of the racetrack now underneath the 99 of Rigsby. But in front of them, they have a gaggle of cars. One driver way up the racetrack. That's the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Jimmy McIntyre was battling inside the top 5, now on the outside as he looks behind the number 83 of Roma. He's got McLean down to the inside. Roma working the outside as they work through turns 3 and 4. Chris Stump down to the bottom of the racetrack as well as we got 2x2 here as they head into turn number 1. Jimmy McIntyre working the outside of the racetrack. They'll work down the back stretch. Now a single filing out for just a moment as Chris Stump's going to fill the void as Matt Vaughty and Justin Rigsby still run door to door off of turn number 4. That's a great battle back there as the 8 of Andy Lambert coming back out onto the racetrack off of pit road is now the 7 of Vaughty trying to make a move on the 99 of Rigsby. Vardy with a little bit of electrical issues down here in the turn number 1. AJ Hamels had to hit the hooks and back off a little bit. The driver of the number 18, the Green Mountain Madman, trying to make his way back towards the front. He's rebounded to the 13th position. He'll work underneath the 99 of Justin Rigsby as they work down here in the corner. We're on board with the Hall sheet metal onboard camera. AJ Hamill trying to get by the 99 of Justin Rigsby. Rigsby up the racetrack. He'll give way. So now move the number 18 of Hamill to 12th. Rigsby not done yet. He's going to charge back down to the inside. AJ Hamill will work the outside of the Speedway. Meanwhile, up front it is still Bill Martin, who is about a half a car length over the 6 of Joe Schaefer. Christopher Reardon runs there in that 14th spot in the KSR, number 46, right behind Justin Rigsby. And Matt Eddy was involved in our first yellow flag. He is quietly running back here in the 15th position. That time Rigsby gets a little bit out of shape. Reardon up the racetrack. He's trying to work in that third groove as that'll open the inside line for the Ohio Racing Eddie Performance, number 88 down to the inside. Just past your halfway point here. Bill Martin was your halfway leader. Joe Schaefer runs second. Third spot is the number 55 of Steve Baker. Baker up from the 16th position. Craig Tilley runs in the 5th spot, in the 4th spot in car number 5. And Justin McDuff running in the 5th spot. Justin Smith has settled into the 6th spot right there in front of the number 83, Chris Roma. Roma runs there in the 7th spot right behind him, making his first start of the season. The Good Wrench entry number 88 of Matt McLean. He is getting challenged by the 9th place driver of Chris Stump. Stump, the driver out of Tip City, Ohio, works the bottom of the racetrack as the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre rounds out your top 10. 11th spot is AJ Hamill. Matt Vaughty runs in the 12th position. 13th spot now is Justin Rigsby. Matt Eddy runs 14th. Christopher Reardon 15th. 16th will go to the 34 of Doug Wasaki. Johnny McNair runs 17th. Mike Holtzclaw is your 18th spot. And Ken Farmer rounds out your 19th car, last car on the lead lap, as the race leaders bound right onto the back bumper. Down the backstretch into turn number 3 they go. Farmer will move up the racetrack in the Hall Sheet Metal Coleman entry. Then your top 2 will get by as they work off the turn number 4 and into turn number 2 now. It's still Martin showing the way. As now Baker will get by the 59 of Hall. Tully as well in the 20 of Justin McDuff. All your top 5 getting by. One driver retiring out of the race so here tonight was the 8th Vermont of Andy Lambert. Lambert not having the night that he would have liked to hope to have. He unfortunately pulled the number 8 Vermont behind the pit wall. He will give it a go next week in the midseason championship as the series will head to Las Vegas to the Bull Ring. Steve Baker starting to close in on your top 2 is now Joe Schaefer starting to whip the horse, trying to get that Mustang around to number 39 of Bill Martin. Down to the inside off the corner, gets a little bit better of a forward drive that time down in the turn number 1. These top 2 about 1 second over the battle for your number 2-3 position. Steve Baker has it. Totally would like it. This yellow flag comes out. Looks like the number 98 of Chris Stump has gone around. The 88 also involved down here. That is Matt Eddy. And we are slowed for the 3rd time here tonight. It looks like the rear end knocked out that number 98 Ford-sponsored entry. Let's take a look and see what happened to the driver from Tip City, Ohio. Running side by side with Matt McLean as they come off the corner, Stump up the racetrack. Oh, he'll kiss the outside wall. Hit turn Jim Mack there. Oh, and hard contact by the 99 of Justin Rigsby. Let's go on board with Chris Stump. Heavy contact to the driver's door for Chris Stump as we are slowed, and everybody coming down pit lane right now. Chris Stump down there as well. Justin Smith staying out onto the racetrack along with the 18 of AJ Hamill. But your race leaders were down on pit road, and they will pull back off. They did have 1 set of extra Hoosiers in the pits here tonight that they could use at their disposal. It looks like Steve Baker maybe had taken a 2-tire strategy. He beats, or the crew had a great execution of a pit stop. They beat the 39 of Bill Martin. Joe Schaefer came in as your 2nd place driver. He'll come out 4th out of the cars that came down pit road. He will restart in your 6th position. In the Epic Media number 6, Joe Schaefer. That gives the driver the Bearded Wonder from Wilton, New York. The number 45 of Justin Smith. He is out there on the racetrack. And that beautiful painted number 45, unsponsored. No, he's out there looking for some sponsorship. So if you'd like to get involved with iRacing, you can look up Justin Smith. Get on that race car. AJ Hamill on the outside in the Arts Barbershop, number 18. He will restart on the outside with that number 18, and he's got tires behind him. The 55 of Steve Baker. Bill Martin will roll off in that 4th position. Matt Eddy 5th. 6th will go to Joe Schaefer. Tully, Roma, McLean, and McDuff rounding out your top 10 as they come off of turn number 4. Green flag is up in the hands of the 45 of Justin Smith, and he'll mash the gas. Down here in the turn number 1 they come. It'll be Smith working the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes the 18. One car sideways. Oh, hard contact. That was the 39 of Bill Martin. And Bill Martin, hard contact in the outside retaining wall. Yeah, you saw it coming at you. Let's see what happened as that front end is shortened up on the North.org, number 39.
Lead in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here as we are back at the Five Flags Speedway, 25 laps to go as they work down here in turn number 1. Sorry about the interruption there. As they work down the backstretch, it'll be the 18 of A.J. Hamill working the outside of the racetrack. It'll be Hamill jumping out to your race lead. Now as they cross the stripe, 25 laps to go. A.J. Hamill up on the front of this one as they work down here into turn number 3. Matt Eddy working the outside of the racetrack as well. 2 by 2 behind him. Justin Smith back to third. Joe Schaefer working up the racetrack. His car is scattered in front of him as they work down underneath the corner. That'll really shuffle the outside. Justin Smith up the racetrack. Here comes Tully. And now Joe Schaefer down to the inside. Schaefer down to the inside off a turn number 4. He'll take your race in the number 2 spot. He'll look to chase down to 88 of Matt Eddy. Big trouble behind him is now Justin McDuff, Justin Smith, and Matt McLean all involved down here in turn number 3. Everybody, heavy damage on this number 20 automobile, smoking heavily. His yellow flag has come out. Let's take a look and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. See them working there side by side off the corner. As Matt McLean goes up the racetrack and then gets a little bit sideways there. Let's take another quick look at it. They work down here into the corner. Oh, a little bit of contact, little netco between the 45 and the 88 of McLean. And then up the racetrack they went. So we come back to live pictures here. Matt Eddy is your race leader. He's got the number 6 of Joe Schaefer. That'll restart on his outside. As we get back to live pictures here. Sorry about the connection there, folks. Sutton has got the backside all jacked up on our side down here at the studio. So it looks like maybe that'll has fixed itself possibly, as it looks like we're much better off there. Sutton had some storms rolling through, so we apologize for the little bit of a hiccup there. 18 laps to go. Lights have gone out. They're going to double file them up. It is the number 6 of Joe Schaefer on the outside of the 88 of Matt Eddy. Eddy will control this restart. AJ Hamill, the Green Mountain Madman, will roll off in that third spot. Steve Baker is fourth. Then it is Craig Tully in that number 5. And the 83 is Chris Roma. Teammates with Steve Baker. Green flag is up. We're back underway. Down to the turn number 1, Matt Eddy jumps out to your race lead, side by side back there for your number 3 spot. As they work down the back stretch. 2 by 2, Christopher Reardon going to make that number 46 down into the pit road. Tough night for the 46. He works down here, turn number 1. AJ Hamill trying to fight off Steve Baker. Got a little bit loose that time off the front bumper of the 5 of Tully, it looked like. And in one car sideways, Justin Rigsby's going to go around. He collects the 59 of Farmer, and up on his lid will go the 99 of Justin Rigsby, and he will have to take the tow. So Rigsby taking the tow here as we are slowed for our 7th time here with 15 laps to go. Let's take a look and see what happened to the number 99 of Justin Rigsby. See him get in the corner just sideways on the bottom and hits that tire, and Ken Farmer nowhere to go. Let's go on board with Ken Farmer. He works down the back stretch. You see it up there in front. It looks like the 99 just the back end steps out. He goes to the bottom, and that is exactly where the 99 went. And he will grab a gear and pull away, but we are slowed down once again here tonight. Been great racing all night long. 5 Flags, one of my favorite racetracks. It looks like Justin Smith going to be able to roll around here. He'll get the Hall Sheet Metal Freeze Pass to get back on the lead lap. Driver led a career high 50 laps here tonight. Matt Eddy up at the front. Can he hold off Schaefer? He had a great restart on the last one. Can he hold off the Epic Media, the winningest driver on this season? Can he hold him off? Schaefer has won the last 3 weeks in a row. Can Matt Eddy pick up the win, which will be his first of the season? Eddy, the driver out of Sanford, Michigan, in the Howell Racing Eddy Performance Solution. GSM Racing just picking up this driver. As this time by, the lights should go out on the Ford Mustang driven by Art Hamill. We want to thank Art for his services here tonight. Charlie Smith up there in the director's tower, directly to my right. So up on the front row, it'll be the 88 of Matt Eddy, Joe Schaefer on the front row. Row number 2 is going to be the 55 of Steve Baker and the 18 of AJ Hamill. Craig Tilley and the 83 of Chris Roma. In row number 3, Jimmy McIntyre and Matt Vaughty making up row number 4. Off of turn number 5, green flag is out, 10 laps to go. Good restart for the 88 of Matt Eddy. Can he hold off the number 6 of Joe Schaefer? So far he can. Down the backstretch they go. Here comes Steve Baker. He's going to challenge the number 6 of Joe Schaefer. Schaefer back to 3rd on this restart. Side by side there in row number 2 is one car has gone around. Looks like the 02 of John McIntyre has gone around. Ken Farmer and Christopher Reardon involved here on the front stretch. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 02 of Johnny McIntyre. Working to the bottom side of the 88 of Matt McLean down in the turn number 1. Oh, the car just starts to get loose and around it will go in front of the field. And then the Ken Farmer makes an evasive move. And let's take a watch that one back one last time. We'll go from high above with the Hall sheet metal hitting an air car cam. See the 02 just start to get a little bit loose, correcting, overcorrects up the racetrack. The 45 of Smith involved, and the 59 just hangs a left. No fault at all of Ken Farmer as he was trying to avoid the spinning Miller Lite entry of McIntyre. And well, he did so, but ends up bringing the 46 of Reardon with him into the inside retaining wall. So a tough break there. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning on in. I see my friend Jeremy Watkins. Hopefully everything's good out there, buddy. We wish you and your family are sending you some good vibes over there as you are watching the Espresso Super Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I am Upstate Al, bringing you all the action here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning on in. If it's your first time tuning on into the Espresso Super Series on the YouTube side, hit that subscribe button. Then you'll get a notification every time the Turn 3 Racing Network goes live with this Espresso Super Series on a Wednesday night. We also have racing 7 days a week, from all the way from the short dirt tracks to the high banks of Daytona to the road courses and everything in between. You can get it all right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Well, we got a second here. We want to thank everybody for watching the Espresso Super Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight's race is being brought to you by Dr. Noise Custom Graphics and Diecast. You're in the market for a new paint job, or you need some graphics made up, or how about a diecast replica of your race car that you race on the iRacing service or in the real world? Look up Dr. Noise on Facebook, send them a message, and tell them the Espresso Super Series sent you. Hall Sheet Metal, heating and air conditioning, is residential and commercial. There's no system that they are unfamiliar with. They can get you fixed up and cooled down as the summer is on its way. Misfits Motorsports, team out of upstate New York. Empire Racing Team with drivers from Ohio to New York and all points in between. Arts Barbershop and Eddy Performance Solutions. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing as the field rolls through turns 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. Green flag is out and Matt Eddy was ready to go. But so wasn't Steve Baker. Baker going to barrel it down on the outside of the turn number 1. Can he make it stick? He'll get to the right rear quarter panel off turn number 2. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Bid for your race lead. Steve Baker making the outside work. Can he make it work off turn number 4? 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks were up in the air as the field crosses underneath it. They work down off of turn number 2. It is Matt Eddy jumping under race lead, but here comes Baker. Baker to the outside. Here comes Schaefer as well. Tully. It's a 4-car battle as the white silk will fly. Eddy gets a little bit out of shape off turn number 4. That allows the 55 of Baker to the outside as they work off turn number 2. Down the backstretch for the final time. It is Matt Eddy out front. Can he hold him off through turns 3 and 4? Off for turn number 4. Matt Eddy will stop the reign of Schaefer. Eddy picks up the win. Baker will finish second. Schaefer third. Craig Tully and A.J. Hamill will round out your top 5 unofficially as we look down from the Hall Sheet Metal track high cam as your top 3 will pull down here onto the front stretch. Congratulations to Matt Eddy for picking up his first win of the season in the Espresso Super Series, holding off Steve Baker and the number 6, Joe Schaefer. Schaefer will come home in that third spot. Well, he will have to wait till next week to go to victory lane. We're going to try to get a word with all 3 of these drivers as they get down here on the front stretch. Matt Eddy going to burn it down here on the front stretch. You saw him doing the burnouts. So as they get ready to do that, we will be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Networks. What a finish. Matt Eddy goes to victory lane.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Five Flags Speedway on Dr. Noise Custom Graphics and Diecast Night. And Matt Eddy's going to park the number 88 in victory lane in an exciting shootout here at the end of this one. As we come down here to the front stretch, we have caught up with the driver of that number 88 of Matt Eddy. And Matt, what a finish there. You played the strategy there. Had to come down pit road a little bit earlier than I think you probably would have liked to have. But overall, a very good night. Talk us through how you came here and ended up in victory lane.
Well, it was probably a lot more exciting night than it needed to be. I was going forward pretty good at the start, and then it stepped out of 4 there when we were racing the top 4 of us, and I just couldn't quite get it back under me, and then I'm sitting half sideways in the track and got run over. But that's my doing, I guess. But yeah, so it was real bad tight after that, and we took several pit stops and got her fixed up. And when everyone pitted, we went with 2 and got back up there in the mix. And there's enough yellows I managed to hold on. Joe didn't pressure me too much. It was exciting.
Talk about how tricky this was. It seemed like tonight we had a couple different groups of racing. The outside line could really hold its own a little bit there, and then it kind of would fade off. How tricky was this track here tonight as nighttime fell?
Yeah, it was real tricky at the get-go. It felt very skatey and touchy, but The outside was a little bit better than the bottom when everything was real slick. You could go sooner up there, I think, with a little momentum. But it tightened up once you got a few laps in it and got to where it was pretty good, where you could stand on it pretty good and race pretty hard.
Knowing that the outside was like that, were you a little bit nervous on these last restarts here? You had Joe Schaefer starting to your outside down that one restart, and then you had the 55 of Baker on the last restart. Were you a little bit nervous that maybe, just maybe, they would get a run on that outside?
Yeah, a little bit. I knew if I could get a decent 1 and 2, I'd probably be pretty good. But Steve had a pretty good run there on the restart. He had a little more drive, I think, having 4 fresh ones versus my 2. But I managed to hold on. Luckily, we had some short runs there. I got clear once, and I think we would have been okay if we stayed green, but that got a little extra exciting there at the end.
It did. Well, overall, you're going to pick up your first win of the season in the Espresso Super Series. Next week, we head out west to the Las Vegas racetrack, the Bull Ring, for the mid-season championships. What's the outlook going out to the Bull Ring next week?
Positive. Bull Ring's one of my favorite tracks. Have some of my better success there, so I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Well, before we let you go, Matt, we'll roll out the red carpet, let you thank everybody that you need to that's on the side of this beautifully painted number 88 here tonight in Victory Lane.
Oh, there's Eddie Performance Solutions. That's my brother's little speed shop he's got. There's Howe Racing Enterprises, 50th year this year. That's where I work. Yeah, sponsored my dad for years. They've done a lot for my family, so always glad to support them. And Joe's Transport is a company of another friends of ours. Does a lot of trailer towing for like office trailers, temporary offices. They have supported my brother's racing quite a bit too. Thank all of them.
Well, congrats.
Oh, and Joe and Bill, my new teammates there. They've helped me out quite a bit, and it's always a good time hanging out with them.
Can't forget those. Congratulations on picking up the win here tonight, Matt. We'll see you next week out at the Bull Ring.
Yep, thank you.
That's tonight's feature event winner, the Dr. Noise Custom Graphics and Diecast, number 100 here tonight, the number 88 of Matt. Eddie picking up the win as we come back here to the live picture on the front stretch. Is we will slide down one spot down the standings. That'll go to the number 55 of Steve Baker, up 14 positions here tonight. Steve, how'd you get that done?
I think we just kept it out of trouble for most of the race and sort of minimized mistakes and just raced hard when we had to there at the end.
You had that outside line rolling pretty good down on that last restart. The outside line showed up a little bit more than I was expecting it to here tonight, but you're making it work. You're able to work the inside outside. How was the racing coming up through the field?
It was pretty fun. I sort of stayed more towards the bottom the rest of the night, so being on the outside was kind of winging it towards the end. I hadn't really run there much earlier in the race, but I just tried to adjust to it quickly, and Matt did a hell of a job there on the bottom with 2 tires. I think we just either needed more time or never know.
Well, you came home in that number 2 spot here. You gave a valiant effort. Next week we head out to the Bull Ring. What's it going to take to park this 55 one spot up a little bit further in the standings?
Probably some practice. I haven't run too much on that track. Five Flags is one of my favorite short tracks, so love to come here. But yeah, just gonna have to put in some laps and probably keep it clean there. That's such a tight, small track that it's who knows what's gonna happen.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, and congratulations on that second spot, who makes it all possible for you and this team?
Yeah, SRTV Network, Smoke Show Racing. That's it. And the guys who put on this league, AJ and Andy. Thanks to them and thanks to you in turn 3. And also just shout out to Matt and Joe there at the end. Hell of a race to the finish, and fun to do that and not have any incidents there.
Definitely was exciting for me. I sent the chair out the back door here through the wall. Looks like someone was running away from their wife here. But congratulations on your number 2 spot here tonight. We'll see you next week out at the bull ring.
Thank you.
That is Steve Baker, tonight's second place finisher, and then that will leave our last driver to interview here tonight, and that is the driver that came in riding a 3-win streak. And Joe, just coming up a little bit shy there, but man, putting on a show coming up through the field, and it has to feel good to come out with a podium position here tonight.
Yeah, I do think I had a little more in it, but not at the end. So that I told Bill before the race and Matt and TeamSpeak, I said this race might come down to tire strategy, and sure enough, it did. I was just, happy to survive there through that last week. A couple people stay out, I think. Maybe 2 or 3 cars stay out on old tires and made those first couple of restarts with about 40 to go. Pretty entertaining and wild, and I was getting a little overly aggressive, I think, getting through there. So once things got calmed down, I figured I better be safe and don't rough anybody up just to be happy to get back to where I did.
Well, you put on a great show. We saw you up front there battling with your teammates, and you're going to come home 1-3, and I know at the 39 of Bill Martin did not have the ending to a race that he was up there leading there. But you come up through the field, and with this way the handicapping system works, you have to work your way up through the field every week. It's entertaining for me up here in the booth, but how is it behind the wheel as you have to work your way, especially knowing next week mid-season championships, a little extra point incentives on the line next week as we head out to the bull ring. And how's that all factor into how aggressive you got to? It's I guess a patient aggressiveness, which is kind of counterintuitive if you think about it, but it's something you guys have to master here with the Espresso Super Series.
Yeah, I think you're right on. You got to be a little bit passive aggressive to the point where you don't fall behind, but also where you don't run up on somebody and destroy them. So, honestly, these longer races, if we can get some sustained green flag runs, part of me thinks starting back a little bit and forcing myself to be patient helps me later in the race, especially running behind. When I get up and moving after that first run and we're single file and I can start watching the people in front of me, it really helps me to find out where I might be better or where I'm getting beat and where I can adjust to make myself better overall. And I think it started to pay off right before pit stops. I wasn't in a position to move Bill tonight, and I wouldn't have forced it on him because that's just not what I'm going to do. And at the end there, I wasn't going to force it on Matt because that's short track royalty. So one of those things, man. I felt really good about the car, and it was a fun race, but came up a little short.
A little bit short, but hey, always next week to give it another shot to get back into victory lane. But before we let you go out here tonight, Joe, congratulations on third place. Who makes it all possible for this team? I know you got a lot of people to thank.
First and foremost, Epic Media. Drew Krybeck always supports my sim racing, even though we don't race all that much together anymore. Dr. Noise Custom Paints and Diecast, he's the sponsor of the race tonight, so shout out to him. GSM Racing, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Andy and AJ for running the show.
Well, congratulations on third place. We'll see you next week out at Vegas. Bring a little extra money. We'll play at the tables, huh?
Sounds good. I might as well just make a donation to you.
There you go. Joe Schaefer picking up your number 3 position here tonight, rounding out the podium here tonight at the Five Flags Speedway in the Dr. Noise Custom Graphics in Diecast 100 as we come back to a live picture here on the front stretch as we look at your unofficial results cut leaving here tonight. It will be the Hall Sheet Metal. Unofficial results will be Matt Eddy picking up the win, Steve Baker in second, holding off Joe Schaefer. We just talked to those three. Craig Tully with a career night, finishing in the 4th spot, and that number 5, AJ Hamill. He'll finish inside the top 5 after being involved in a few wrecks not of his doing. Chris Roma with a nice debut here tonight will come home in the 6th spot. Jimmy McIntyre will rally back to finish 7th. Matt Vaughty. Doug Wasaki with a top 10. Tap of the hat to Doug out there. I love Doug. Great guy if you ever get to talk to him. And Justin Smith, your pole sitter, rounding out the top 10. Matt McLean in his debut race of the season will come home 11th and last car on the lead lap. Mike Abbott will finish 12th. Ken Farmer 13th. Christopher Reardon and John McIntyre rounding out your top 15. Bill Martin, Justin Rigsby, and Justin McDuff 17th and 18th. Rounding out your field here tonight in the race was Chris Stump, Mike Holtzclaw, and Andy Lambert, all out early with trouble. Well, that'll about do it here tonight for us and the Turn 3 Racing Network. I want to thank everybody that tuned on in here tonight, that we really appreciate all your support out here week in and week out as we bring you all of the action for the Turn 3 Racing Network and the Espresso Super Series. But until next week, it's the Mid-Season Championship. But tonight, it's all short track royalty. Matt Eddy goes to victory lane for the first time this season at the Five Flags Speedway. Until next week, we'll see you guys at the racetrack. Keep the wheels down, and we will see you at the races.